Hey there, this is Dr. Jewa Lea with day 2 of Whole Heart Living, and wanted to discuss um, more about the heart. Yesterday I talked about how the heart is not a pump but a vortex generator and decelerator, and also the color associated with the heart. The frequency of the heart is more elevated than the color red. Is actually green. And so today I wanted to speak on the twists and turns that help form the heart. Now, when we think about heart development in embryology, let me back up because I'm assuming a lot here. Wanted to let you know that I'm a doctor, but my doctorate is in chiropractic medicine. And in the chiropractic school, we studied embryology, anatomy, physiology, pathology, all the different ologies that medical schools study. And in embryology, we looked at the development of the embryo. And one of the things that struck me when I started doing this research on the heart that I didn't notice the first time around when I was studying embryology is that most of the organs and organ systems that develop in the body start off as small versions of that organ and then develop as the fetus develops. They start off as buds, so you have lung buds and different organs, liver buds, that kind of thing. The heart, when it started off, actually started off as an arterial tube or an artery. And at day 21 in gestation, it starts twisting and turning to form what we know now as a heart. It takes around 28 days, a full lunar cycle, for the heart to form. So from day 21 to day 49, the heart is going through these different twists and turns, starting out as a straight tube at first, and then finally forming into the heart as we understand it to be. So it's interesting that the dynamic, again, of this swirling motion, this turning motion, is inherent in not only how the heart operates, but also in its generation itself. So with that in mind, yesterday I talked about how the heart is a vortex accelerator, decelerator. If you were to think about the heart, would you think of it as a solid muscle, or would you think of it as something else? So when I was doing my research on the heart, I found that the heart is not just one massive solid muscle. It is actually comprised of 8 layers of muscles, and not layers like formed like this, but layers in a basket weave kind of pattern, and it wraps around in a specific way, and those layers are interconnected, so all the layers communicate with each other, and they are responsible. How the architecture of these layers is responsible for how the blood is able to be moved through the heart. So I wanted to give an example of heart function. Everybody's familiar with the lub-dub sound that goes along with the heartbeat. So the lub-dub is actually the valves of the heart opening and closing as blood is moving past or moving through one chamber to another. And so you have systole, which is contraction of the heart. So the little mnemonic that I used to like to use is systole is like making a fistole. So you have contraction of the heart and then relaxation of the heart. So you have systole and diastole. And so during systole, we think of the heart beating. It's like pulsating. From the outside, it looks like it's pulsating. However, that's an illusion of function. The heart is not actually pulsating. It is twisting on the inside, and as a result of that twisting, it oscillates, making it look like it's pulsing, but it's actually on the inside. With every contraction of those layers, there's a twisting force that's taking place. So using this rag, I wanted to demonstrate how this happens. So at the top of the heart is the base, and then at the bottom of the heart is the apex. And with each contraction, the heart is twisting. Let me get a little closer here. I'm going to actually twist this a little bit so you can actually see. So with each contraction, the heart is twisting and then relaxing. Twisting and then relaxing. Twisting and then relaxing. Now, if you notice my hand here, with each twist, is going in one direction, and this hand is going in the opposite direction. Twisting and relaxing. And this is what's happening within the heart every time it pulsates, every time it beats. It's twisting and relaxing, twisting and relaxing. So it's accepting blood into a chamber and then ejecting the blood out of the chamber. Accepting blood into the chamber, ejecting blood out of the chamber. And one of the things that is important to know is that since this blood is moving into a vortex, the blood comes down into the chamber, the ventricle, either side. It doesn't make any difference. It comes down into the ventricle, and because of this twisting motion, it stops before it reaches the bottom of the chamber, and then with the relaxation, the suction draws it out into either the lungs or the aorta, depending if it's on the right side. The right ventricle takes the blood up into the lungs. The left ventricle takes the blood up into the aorta. And the same thing happens. Blood drops down into the ventricle from the atria. It contracts and then relaxes. So it's like this twisting motion that's happening each time blood is going into the ventricle. And then so it's like it's going down one way, and then it's propelled up the other way, twisting in the other way, twisting in the other way. And the blood never drops down to the apex unless there's a dysfunction of the heart. So when we hear of people having congestive heart failure, what is happening is that this twisting motion is not as efficient as it used to be. And now blood is actually reaching the bottom of the ventricle, and some of it doesn't get expelled with the relaxation of the twist. And so over time, blood accumulates at the bottom of the heart ventricles, apex, and at the apex of the heart, and causes congestive heart failure. It results in congestive heart failure. Also, interestingly enough, is that when this happens, when this congestive heart failure is happening and the blood comes in and doesn't get expelled or ejected, is even more a better term, doesn't get ejected properly, the heart starts changing its shape. So the heart becomes more of a pyramid or a blocky, pyramidal kind of shape. The proper term is tetrahedron, but we know it as a pyramid. So if you think of looking at pyramids in Giza, that blocky, triangular shape, the heart starts taking on that property. And one of the diagnostic tests that is done to see if a heart is going into congestive heart failure or progressing in that way is seeing the shape of the heart is actually turning more into a pyramid than not. And the reason why it's doing that is because the efficiency of these muscles, the layers of muscles twisting, is not as effective. There are various factors that can come into blood not being ejected efficiently during this twisting. One of them is that the blood that is being transported to the heart is more and more polluted and unable to be filtered as effectively as possible. Because the heart itself also has two different sides. On one side, on the left-hand side, you have oxygenated blood. This blood has come freshly from the lungs. It has a different charge to it than the blood that comes from the rest of the body that's quote unquote more dirty, that has all the gases and everything else that will be filtered once it reaches the lungs. So on the right-hand side of the heart, you have a different kind of charged blood. And then on the left-hand side of the heart, you have another charged kind of blood. And they're different polar opposites of each other. So the heart itself also acts like a filter in the sense that the blood is transported the blood is attracted to the heart because of the difference in the negative and the positive poles. It's just like a battery. You have a circuit that goes from negative to positive, and that's also one of the ways that the blood circulates through impulse of different charge. Hope that wasn't too confusing. I hope that was clear. If it wasn't, let me know and I'll clear it up next time. So the twists and turns of the heart are very interesting because you have this vortex. And if we think about the energy of the universe, it moves in a vortex. The Milky Way is one big vortex. How we move around the sun on Earth is in the pattern of a vortex. How the planets move around the Earth is a vortex. How the moon goes around Earth is a vortex. And so the commonality of how energy is working is in a vortex kind of pattern. And the heart architecture is based solely on vortex. The twists and turns that take place from day 21 to 49 are formed such because of the vortex energy that's coming into the heart during the development of the fetus. And so we're going to build on that until next time. So just notice, the heart is a lot more than what we think. Even from the very beginning, it has hidden forces that cause its formation and influence a lot of what it does within the body and how it interacts with different entities in the body. And more on that next time. Please click subscribe and hit like on my YouTube. Click like and follow me on my page if you haven't done so already. You can see I'm new to this. Also, I have a new domain name for my YouTube channel. Make it easy. So it's drjewatv.com. That's DRJEWA TV.com, and that takes you directly to my YouTube channel. So if you want to see more postings on the heart or any other information that I have up there about personalized nutrition, wellness, and other topics, feel free to subscribe there and hit the bell so that you'll be notified each time there is something new there. So again, this is day 2, talking about the twists and turns of the heart. Tomorrow, day 3, I'll be going more into the topics, more deeper into the topics of the heart. And there's so much to cover. and I'm hoping I'm able to do it in 28 days. And stay tuned, because I will start giving information on what you can do to optimize your heart health. All right. Thank you. Love you. Take care.